Encouraged to buy Australian. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's look at this news.com.au article which is discussing, well, the drop in Australian exports, which, well, we've been discussing in many videos, particularly the games really that's coming out of China, and it's potentially going to have a huge impact on our exports, and calls that we should buy Australian to help our businesses recover. Well, it all sounds good, and you know, I agree, but it's hard to specify. And when I say I mean specify. As an architect, we'll design a project and we'll nominate the products that go in the project. You talk to the client, what they want, and you find product for them. And often, you know, the builder will come to the table and say, oh, we've got an alternative, we've got this here, and it all works out together in the end, or it should. Now, I generally made a point of trying to specify Australian-made products, simply because, well, my hope was it would be easy to replace or get an equivalent product if it was damaged, or maintenance would be easier if it was locally made. And, well, I thought we should be supporting the local economy. From an environmental perspective, it's also smarter to manufacture in our own country than transport goods from one side of the world to the other. People tend to forget that there's a lot of diesel burned shipping stuff around the world. You know what? Let's have a look. We'll just bring up here just a little map to show everyone, give everyone a bit of an appreciation of how much shipping traffic is moving stuff around the world at this very moment. I mean, that's a lot of shipping diesel right there, guys. It's a different world. So if you don't have to ship something all the way from here down to here and then truck it up to here, well, that could be an advantage. I mean, one example was our plywood. You can see behind me the black shells right there. This was, for our own office, we actually spent extra to get a high quality, locally manufactured plywood just up the road from Yeronga when we had our office there in the fit out. It cost a lot more. We could get it cheaper from Bunnings, but where do you think the Bunnings stuff came from? I'll give you a hint. Over here. Even the door handles we put on our shop, well, that cost significantly more because we got them locally manufactured. That's the problem with buying Australian, everyone. It sounds good, but it's expensive. We did it on our own little project, on our own little fit out, because we ethically wanted to. It was a decision we made. We paid the extra. But other clients, you'd spec something like you'd spec a scope fridge, which is made in New Zealand. This is the one that really rammed it home to me. And then the builder comes along and finds a replacement from China at a quarter of the price. Never mind that the fridge in China needs to be, or the Chinese manufactured fridge, and this was for a display. It was at a mine, a drink fridge, a cabinet or something, a sandwich fridge. You had to turn it off to defrost it every hour. So really, they were getting out of their warranty. And see, this is the thing. Often it's not equivalent products, but it doesn't matter because of the price. That's what it comes down to. People want to save money. It means more profit for the builders, more profit for the project managers, and a cheaper purchase for the owner of the project. But there are other factors that may come into play. So let's have a look at this call for buy Australian, because I'm just look at Dick Smith's failure in trying to roll out Buy Australian. He gave up once Aldi had a better brand than his company. He was making those rebranding sanitary and food products with his own label and then donating any profits to charity, and just no one would buy it. It wasn't feasible because it was so much more expensive than getting other things. Exports of Australian goods have taken a hit during the pandemic, but everyone can play a role in bridging the gap. As the Buy Australian push gains momentum, individuals and business owners are being encouraged to step up their efforts to request and purchase local products. National Australian Bureau of Statistics data shows merchandise exports in September totaled $28.9 billion, down 21% from $33 billion in September last year, and well below the record $35 billion reached in mid-2019. That is not very much. While exports of iron ore and some raw materials have climbed during the COVID-19, a majority of manufactured goods, food and technology products we send overseas have dropped as the world economy shrank by 5%. Economists say locals buying Australian-made products benefit both consumer and businesses. If demand increases for Australian-made goods and services, there's a chance, only a chance, that companies' profitability will be enhanced and they can hire more Australians. CommSec senior economist Ryan Felshman said, "It's a mutually beneficial scenario." Yes, but it comes down to your costs. You can't blame people for not being able to afford to buy Australian. That's the sad reality of it, guys. We're in a recession. We're in a recession. Wages are just in the toilet. Wage growth is now, wages are expecting to be frozen. So if you have to feed your family and you can buy a product, that's a lot cheaper and it may be imported or buy something locally manufactured, what are you going to do? If you have to make every dollar go further, if people are at risk of losing their home or their mortgage, what do you think people are going to do? So while I am encouraged by calls like this to buy Australians, we should not guilt people into, or shame people into doing this if they can't afford it. It's a decision people have to make. If anything, I would suggest people get a better control of their budget and their finances. So if they want to make a decision to spend a little bit extra on their shopping, because ethically they would rather support local manufacturing and producers than foreign-owned ones, than offshore ones, the locals may still be foreign-owned, then, if they get their budget sorted, they can assign money to that and make that decision. But we can't be going around shaming people or guilting people. Oh, how dare you buy, this product from New Zealand or this here? Because I'm not giving up my New Zealand cheese, guys. I don't care what anyone says. I love my Kiwi cheese. I go out of my way to try and buy New Zealand butter because there's a higher chance that the cattle will be grass-fed. Because it's meant to have a tiny, immeasurable benefit to those of us on the carnivore diet. Maybe it's just all in my head. But it's bloody good cheese, guys. Aldi. Well, see, there you go. Aldi, German-owned company. Mr. Felshman said Australia's manufacturing sector needed support to be more self-sufficient and focus on competitive advantages, including medicinal products, beverages, and high-quality agricultural products. See, this isn't the traditional manufacturing that people are expecting. We've seen a significant explosion of pharmaceutical products in the last couple of years. It's still a small sector of our market, but part of the high-tech manufacturing component Australia has been positioning itself in. I mean, look at that. Look at how everything else is crashing. Scientific instruments, okay, good. At least something is going up. Well, no, it's still down from September 2019 to 2020. What is the fall negative? Why is that positive? Anyway. The Advanced Manufacturing Growth Centre recently linked with the Australian Made campaign to promote local products to businesses. And the AMGC CEO, Dr. Jens Gunnemann, said high-tech manufacturing had a bright future as Australia transitioned from a lucky country to a smart one. Let's just bring up this chart here. A lucky country to a smart one. What do you think, everyone? I mean, it'd be great if it could. We don't have our own Silicon Valley here, The problem is, can we transition to a smart country if we're still all investing in houses and flipping houses? What incentive is there for people to take the risk to invest in a business or start something? You can list it here. What are you going to get? All the big businesses, they all list overseas. They all head for New York or Europe. Australia's manufacturing future resides in the adoption of technology, he said. He said locally made products were up there with the best. AMGC knows from our research that many international buyers purchase Australia for its quality and value rather than price, he said. Well, yeah, what's that? Food stuff? Australia's services export have been smashed during the pandemic, with border closures blocking international students and tourists. KPMG chief economist Bernard Ryan said the Buy Australia theme could extend to services such as educational producers taking on more local students, which would have the extra benefit of increasing skills. Okay, sure. It sounds good. But if there's no job for those increased skills, what's the point then? You can study something so you can then just teach it again, not get a job. I remember that. In my first year of architecture, my tutor, he'd graduated and he never got a job in architecture. I thought it was odd. You know, there's always a push for more domestic travel. We import more tourism than we export, he said. Australians travel and spend more overseas than foreigners who come to Australia. Dr. Ryan said individuals could make a difference by going to your local shops and buying from them. Consumers could encourage restaurant owners and other businesses to source local products, he said. Ask them, are you buying locally? Say, we will support you more if we support local businesses. It's that snowball effect. Yeah, but it's all just talk and BS. I mean, when push comes to shove, people are going to take care of themselves first and their families first. Charity comes at home, everyone. You've got to find the most competitive product. If they want to make Buy Australia more affordable, maybe the government needs to start stepping out of the way of businesses, you know, reducing the burden that they're placing on people's backs, reducing the costs and risk associated with actually employing people in this country. Then there'd be less incentive to offshore work. You know, just these crazy theories, but you know, no one ever talks about that in these articles, does it? Just trying to guilt the average punter into spending more on on local products. Encourage business owners to take the next step in their local supply chain. Recognize that buying the cheapest product possibly doesn't create a society. Yeah. Well, you know, I've encountered that a lot of the time in my profession. It's just how reality is. What do you think, everyone? Are you buying local? Are you going out of your way to buy Australian? I mean, we buy all our beef. We were getting it from Victoria. I'll have to talk to the butcher where he's getting it from now. But, you know, there you go. But then again, I am quite the fan of Aldi. It's much cheaper, significantly cheaper. We notice it because we do one shop a month than some of the biggest shops. But then again, most of their off-label stuff is all made here in Australia. So I guess that's a benefit too. And I'm not paying for marketing. So guys, let me know what you think. Are you planning to buy Australian? Do you think this is a campaign that will work? Or do we need to get the government out of the way to allow Australian businesses to be more competitive? As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.